All right, last push with regex. We've got just this little bit about opening things and using some regex on our opened files, which is very useful too. And then we've got an in-class exercise, and then we have a project, and that'll be what we do for the day. So, opening a file, we are going to set a variable f. We're going to equal it to open files/names.txt. Now, this is wherever your names.txt thing is, right? And so I might have to pause and modify mine a little bit so I can isolate that. It should be saved in the same folder. We'll find out in a moment. But we'll have data equals f.read, and I'll talk a little bit about how to isolate that. Okay, we're going to print our data. Will it work? No. Read back. All right, I figured it out. I got rid of the files / part, and as long as it's in the same folder, so here I've got, in my folder, I've got all of these here, right? We've used the module pi thing. As long as it's in the same folder, so here's today's work page, right? Names.txt is in the same folder, okay? So make sure that you download that from the class page and have it in the same folder as our stuff. Again, you can use just regular your file explorer or finder on Mac to move it if you'd like, but as long as they're in the same folder, you should be able to just say names.txt. One of the ways that others will often do is they'll have a folder here for files, and that would have looked inside that folder for the file called names.txt. And I obviously do not have a folder for my files besides just this whole thing all in one. So if this were a bigger project, I'd probably have specific folders for everything, but this is only going to be 10 to 12 items total anyways. So as we'll open it, and it prints out data now, and we have all of this stuff here, right? But we're going to have to figure out how to work through it all, okay? Now there's another way of opening this and saving it, and that's with open. And that is another easy way to save something as f. Again, these are just the two most popular ways of opening a document. So with open, and then we're just going to do names.txt here. And we're going to say as f. And then data equals and f.read again. It's the same thing. Oh, we have to close this one too. My bad. So we'll have, not that, f.close. And with open will automatically take care of that for us. So print data. Right? And that takes care of that. So now we have this data variable that we can use. We can do cool stuff with it. So we're going to do print read.match, and we're going to use a raw string. We'll have Hawkins, Derek, and then we're going to pass in data, right? So what this is doing is it's going to look in data for this raw string, okay? And we don't have to write like regex as we think of it. It will automatically search for this as a raw string. And so we're going to print that out. And it says, hey, there is something here. It's at this location, and it matches Hawkins Derek. Delightful, right? We can search. Print read.search, and then we're going to do another raw string, repl p at codingtemple.com, right? And then we'll be searching in data, and that will also bring back an object and say, hey, we matched this particular item there. Good to go. So now we'll do some other cool stuff. We'll say answer equals input. What would you like to search for? Right? And then we can set found equal to read.findAll, and then we will put in answer and data, right? And so this way, findAll will search all of our data for whatever answer you put in there and see if it's in there. And then if found, okay, because if this is empty, right, if this is a none type, right, that kind of deal, then it won't be true. It'll be none or empty, and those resolve to false. And then empty is not a data type. Don't worry about that one. But it'll be none, or potentially an error, which would also resolve to false. So then we have a print f statement, and we'll say I found your data, and then we're going to put in found here, right? And that'll show us. And else we're going to print nothing here. Okay, so we can search for things, right? Let's search for Sith Lord. Okay, it says, I found your data, Sith Lord. Pretty cool. Otherwise, we can say applesauce. Woo, no applesauce here. Okay, so we're searching through this document. You can play around with that a little bit more if you'd like to. But that'll be searching through that data, parsing through it. That'll be good. In class exercise 3. Okay, we're going to print each person's name and their Twitter handle using groups, and it should look like this, right? So we're gonna have each person's name and then a slash and then their handle. This one's tricky. It is. But ultimately, our output is going to look like, I said, just like that. This is ultimately what it's going to end up looking exactly like. Okay? So, again, you don't have to worry about that. Couple hints. You're going to be using these things. You're going to find them, isolate them, and put them back in place a little bit. And use some groupings. And you should be able to do that. I will say also, as a hint, use .group. Okay, and if you need to Google what that looks like and how that works exactly, again, we talked about it a little bit earlier, where we are putting things in groups of 2 here, but that would be a good tool to use. And off you go for exercise 3. Best wishes. Have fun.